Hey peeps, welcome back to Reaper Pro Tips with me, your host, Anne, Disembodied Hands, Quinty, and lesser disembodied hands, Justin and John. Although mostly disembodied ears, we'll give them some cred today, just because I feel like it. ArrowWiz for 39 months! That's insane. That's insane. Yeah, whew, it's a Friday. Thank God, right? Except that my Friday is going to turn into a super busy weekend because of the seminar that we're going to. Is going to disrupt the day, and I'm curious to see how it goes. I try to go into these things with a very open mind, but I also will get irritated pretty quick if the instructor is super close-minded. So this is the trade-off. And apparently he's requested wet palette specifically, which I'm very interested in because I thought he used pretty thin paint. So it's going to be interesting to see how he executes. That's why I do these things: process insight into another painter's process and technique. So, but today I have a bunch of crappy because the weekend is completely invisible. Today is one of those annoying days where you have all these freaking stupid errands taking up your whole day. So you can't concentrate on anything and you can't focus on anything. You just have this extra long to-do list of all these little annoying things you have to get done. That's where I am today. You know those days? Y'all know those days, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so that's where I am today. I am in that. Oh no, car! Oh yeah, because that was a total disruption in your routine, right, Quinty? I would totally reset. My brain would be all scattered after that. I get the feeling that you, like me, like routine. I am very dependent on routine to get my everything all together, all done, like focus on, etc. Hey lady, long time no see. Let us grab I believe we're using nut brown and Luke walnut. Yeah, it is giving us a little bit of a purpley look here, and I'm like kind of jury out on if I'm going to keep it or not. But it's easy to fix. So I'm like, I'm going to run with it, and we'll see how we do. Where did my nut brown go? No, nut brown, you cannot abandon me. No. Where did my nut brown go? No. Apparently my nut brown scampered off somewhere. That's not good. How am I supposed to mix my fur color? Wait, oh no, it's hiding over here. Yay. There. Oh, that's right, I remember. Yeah. Yeah, I just love my routine because it means I get to go on autopilot for a lot of the day. And then I have brain power left to do really super creative things like write books. Whereas if my routine gets disrupted, all my brain power goes to like figuring out how I'm going to deal with my day. Then I don't have a lot of super creative power to write books or PDFs or to paint minis or to do anything else. So yeah. So yeah, fist bump to all of you who need your routine. Alrighty, so we've got walnut and nut brown and creamy ivory at a 2 to 1 to 1. I am going to do that. My walnut is pretty goopy. It's getting really low in the bottle, so I'll need a new bottle soon. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's total disruption. I could see that, Quinty. Total disruption. I mean, on the plus side, at least you had an engineer come out to fix your car so that you could like get to work. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. But yeah, I do love my routine. I am one of those people. I am not Steve Jobs, but I do like I don't wear the same outfit every day, but I totally understand why he did. Like I totally get there and I could be that person. I could see that reality because picking out clothes for me, like if it wasn't fun for me to pick out my clothes according to my mood, which by the way, my t-shirt today is pretty much my F the world t-shirt. But if it wasn't fun for me to do that, I would totally just like have my entire like wardrobe organized so I could just not think about what clothes I was wearing every day. Tyler, very interestingly, it's very neutral. It's very neutral because it does require me to interact. It does require me to think. It does require me to be creative, and it, obviously it's work, right? But at the same time, what I have found over the years is that doing a class in person, even with many fewer people, obviously, drains me like 10 times more. Like with you guys, I don't really feel drained at the end of this. I'll feel like usually satisfied and like I worked for an hour, but I won't, or whatever, but I won't feel drained. So online for me is really ideal. And it's why I'm really rethinking whether I want to even teach at ReaperCon this year. Because I'm like, I would rather teach online. I would rather do videos for my Patreon. I would rather do all this, which although it takes energy, doesn't totally deplete me. It's like in the world of energy pennies, this stream takes 1 energy penny and teaching a class takes 10 in person. Yep, Zachariah. I think a lot of guys do that. Like, I think because I find that a lot of you guys don't really care about your wardrobe as long as it doesn't clash. As long as you don't get made fun of for it. Yeah, I ought to do my regular stream at ReaperCon, right? Yeah, so energy pennies, for me, things that give me energy pennies back are planning, making lists, making to-do lists actually give me energy pennies. Thinking, being able to like think deeply about something, like just when I sit down and just I think about my next scene in my book, or I take a walk and I think about my next PDF, and how I'm going to lay it out. That actually gives me energy. Let's see what else. Kind of actually, I think what helps me balance out this stream is that one of the things I get energy from is kind of like being able to utilize the fact that I understand that we are all so different. Like that's a very energizing, empowering message for me. And I constantly send that message on this stream. We're constantly talking about it. So I feel like actually that gives me a lot of energy. The fact that I'm always trying to like, I'm always looking at what you guys are saying, the feedback that you're giving, and kind of thinking about, well, how does that relate to me? And how is that different? And how, when would that work? When wouldn't it work? That kind of thing. I'm fascinated by that stuff. And that actually, going back to what I said at the start of the stream, that is why I get frustrated when I take a seminar with a closed-minded instructor. Somebody who is very much, this is the way to do it, and they're not, and they just don't think in terms of everyone is so different, right? So, and a lot of them would probably say, yes, but I'm teaching the class. And I would say, yes, you're teaching the class, and you have to worry about how to reach all your students, not just the ones like you. But this is a brain thing that is wired into you or it's not. And everybody's got it on some level, but the people who are really weak in it tend to be the people of my way or the highway, right? Like they don't understand why everybody can't see that they've got a really effective process and it needs to be followed. And they don't understand that some people's brains just don't work that way. And then you've got me on the other side where I'm really high in it and I constantly look at how everyone is different and try to find a common ground or try to find a way to kind of work with everyone so everyone gets something out of the interaction. So yeah. Oh, and the other thing that gives me energy is learning stuff because I'm a learner. I'm a super high level learner. So when you have that kind of thing in your brain, and a lot of us are probably, a lot of introverts are learners. Like we're learners and thinkers. And so if you've got that thing where you're like, oh yeah, I could learn how to do that. Whether it's a painting technique and you're like, I can learn how to do that. I think I just need to work at it. Or your sink breaks and you're like, you know what? I could fix that. I could learn how to do that. Then you're really high in like learner and that kind of confidence that comes with understanding that you learn quickly and well as long as you apply yourself and that you can probably fix most of your problems. So yeah. It's, I'm a big Clifton Strengths fan these days, Zachariah, which is essentially a protocol for describing success in humans and essentially 34 different strengths that everybody has in a certain combination. But like the strengths, because they can appear in any combination, are like you are like 1 in 10 million. Like your particular layout is 1 in 10 million. So everybody's so different, and yet everybody has a lot in common. It's really cool. Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah, I can put on the extrovert face at cons. I always do. So it's like I can become an extrovert in self-defense, and I think a lot of introverts actually get this way, but it does drain me. It does drain me. Now, if I'm just at ReaperCon and I'm just talking to people, then I end up drained at the end of the day, but I'm not like blasted, right? I'm not like scorched earth. um, but yeah, so it could be. It's the way I've heard it. Yeah, the way I have heard it described is the way that I describe it, which is that interacting with people for an introvert will drain their energy, interacting with them specifically, because I can be in a group of people, and if there's no demands being made on me, Jason, I won't lose energy. Like, I could go and do my writing at Buffalo Wild Wings at the bar. I used to go do this. And I would just order a six of wings and a beer. And I would be chatting with the bartender, no problem. And I would have people everywhere. But those people didn't have any demands on me. And so I was fine. And if I'm just in a group where I don't have to be like forefront, I can be fine. I won't get exhausted. Like, if I'm at ReaperCon, I'm just hanging out. It'll slowly deplete me, maybe, just because I'm not alone, but it won't be as bad as if I have to, yeah. Whereas extroverts get energy from personal interactions. And it's not all or nothing. This is where the whole everybody's an individual thing comes in. You've got scale here. You've got a scale. So you could be just a little introverted, but still be fine dealing with people. And maybe personal interactions, if they're like long, like over the holidays, you're ready to die by the end of it. But you still are fine, like mostly, stuff like that. Yeah, so you're probably further on the introversion scale, where I'm probably more like toward the middle. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So yeah, it is the simplistic description, which is why I'm saying there's a scale here, right? Because I can hang out, like this class, this seminar, as I'm not teaching it. So chances are I'm going to go to the seminar and I'm going to be tired at the end of the day just because I've been concentrating and learning, right? But I'm not going to be exhausted from dealing with people, because most of those people probably aren't going to want to deal with me. Yeah, so everybody's kind of on a scale. So you can be a little bit extroverted, but still like your quiet time, right? So you can still like get a little bit of energy from dealing with people if they're pleasant and everything is having fun, but maybe you couldn't handle a lot of people and a lot of demand, or teaching in public or speaking in public, right? Maybe that would be really draining for you. You could be a little extroverted and not a lot, but yeah. So I think you always like to hear everybody wants a simplified definition because everybody's trying to figure out where they are, but in reality, you're probably a mix. You're probably somewhere in here. That's a hard call. That's a really hard call. Really hard call, Arrow is. Oh, so David, because David is just like a little bit. If I had to guess, I'd have to ask him. Ask him what energizes him more. But I think he's like me. If I had to guess, because he can interact, he can spend all day. For one thing, okay, he really likes going to work, right? And so if you were just judging that, since the pandemic that hit, once his office opened back up, he was back at work. But he wasn't back at work because he missed the people. He was back at work because he felt it was easier to stay on task at work. So, and by his own, on his days off, he will sit at home and paint. So I feel like he like me, he is an introvert, but he's just a little bit into the introvert space because he also he leads his team at work. He likes to teach. He doesn't get drained from teaching, actually, like me. So he's probably closer to the balance than I am. Yeah. I see. Validar. Yeah. Yeah, and that changes too. That's why it's not cut and dried, right? Because even an introvert, if you're going out with a group of your friends, then that, even if there's a couple of people you don't know, but most of the people you know, you're still going to probably get excited about that, and it's not going to, it's going to be a fun thing, right? So it does matter what it is too. Is it work, or is it play, right? Or is it somewhere in there? So it's all different. But yeah, if I had to guess, David's might be right on the middle. Yeah, it's a spectrum. Yep. It's all a range, and it's not just probably one thing. Like for us, for introversion and extroversion, I'm almost willing to bet that there are a couple of different parameters that define those things, and that both of those or all three or whatever are all on sliding scales. And a psychologist could probably really break it down. Because, like, there's being around people and then there's interacting with people, right? So maybe there's not just one thing here. Maybe there are more than one thing. Yeah, David left to himself is very good at, like, just focusing and working on his own thing. And part of that is, like me, I think he's very high focus. So he essentially, when he gets into a project, the blinders go on and he's just on that project. And when he's painting, that is the case. I often have to knock on the window when I take the puppy out for her last out at night. Knock on the window and go, "It's 10," because otherwise he won't look at his clock and he'll come to bed at 11:30. So yeah. I think probably the most important part of all of this, and it feels like to me that, listening to y'all, that you all have thought about this and have yourselves mostly pegged, is just to figure out what does energize and what does drain you, so that you can manage your energy when you go to a con and you really want to have fun. Like, that's the most important thing, is like keeping your sanity and your mental health and keeping within the threshold that you feel good at, so that you can enjoy when you go out to do these fun things. So that your introversion, because we can get the Clifton Strengths coach that my writing coach calls it being in the basement instead of in the balcony. When your tendencies take over. 1 minute. I dropped my paint and I must rescue it. But we can let our things take over instead of trying to work with them. And let them kind of drive us instead of us driving them. And that is kind of a, like, what she'd call being in the basement. Whereas if you know your limitations and you work with them and you manage to keep it, at a good level for you, that's more like working in the balcony, where everything is functioning in a healthy way. Oh yeah, all very much taxing. So for you, Quindy, it's like, would it be worth going to the convention, right? Maybe you'd have to try it out, but you'd also have to, like, have a hotel room on site, or you could just retreat whenever you wanted. Right, yeah. Well, yeah, because humans are kind of social beasts, right? So, I mean, during the pandemic, though, I'll tell you, during the pandemic, I was perfectly happy talking to you guys every day, just virtually. Virtually is okay with me. Like, I like to chat and I like to hang out, and this fit for me. Like, I didn't feel a lack. Oh, tickets for Nova Open. Nice, lady. Nice. Yay. We're talking about introversion and extroversion and stuff like that. Oh, Tyler, I'm so sorry. Yeah, parenting can be rough for introverts. Especially because, it's just like with the puppy. I seriously had, like, I had a severe breakdown. I actually had my Crohn's flared up because I had to deal with the puppy without David since we got her so close to ReaperCon. Like, it was bad for my health. So yeah, manage it. Do what you have to. Learn how to make the best case scenario, even if it's still not an ideal one. Yeah, so you've learned how to manage it, Quindy. Hopefully you still have fun, right? Yeah, having a buddy. Yep, that's cool. That's a good way to manage. Yeah, there is no shame in therapy, folks. There is no shame in therapy. I actually never had gone to a therapist before my divorce, But I did go to a therapist all during my divorce. And she thought I was pretty well balanced. But I still did it because I was still like, I need to talk about this crap. Yeah, and I think a lot of us introverts do that. I think we probably were drawn to friends who were more socially outgoing, who kind of took some of the burden off of us, right? And I was kind of that person. I have been that person for people through my life, just because I was more extroverted than they were, even though still wasn't an extrovert. So, all right, we've got fur. We've got fur color. Let us, we're working on Mr. Mousy. Let's continue to work on his paws. I actually had removed, I took his plinth away to put Cool Bus Lady on it. So, but now the Cool Bus Lady is pretty good, although I still need to highlight her shoulders, but her skin looks a lot better. So I think I can take her off of the plinth and put Mousy back on it. But I probably need to knead up my glue tack. You must. Oh, yeah. They can backfire, right, Butts? Yeah. Like, being in somebody's shadow like that can be comforting at first, but then it can also put you in a situation where you feel like you can't do it yourself. Yep. But that's okay. We're all little happy bunnies working through our problems. Or I won't say problems, issues. We're working on ourselves. What was the quote I ran into yesterday? It was that, like self-improvement is, like, the highest, like, pursuit. Something like that. Working on yourself, understanding, like, where you are, understanding if it's not where you want to be, and finding a way to productively work on it in a way that feels good to you, I think is really, yeah, it is one of the highest pursuits. I am a self-improver, though. I very much want to be the best Anne that I can be. And that goes for everything, not just like mini painting and stuff like this. I want to be a good person. It's important to me. Yeah, it's hard to fight that stuff though, right? But it's hard to fight it. You just are, you believe it for so long. Oh, hey, I did all that. Cool. I have a to-do list and I'm like, oh, that's all complete. I can rip that to-do list up. That's a nice feeling. So I'm going to get he's got little chest hairs here. Although I did thin my paint. Probably a little bit too much. We'll find out. The phone. It's Friday. Everybody's trying to get the last bits of their work in. Yeah, we're all works in progress. Yep. Cool, crows. Yeah, we were talking about introverts and extroverts, and now we're kind of talking about, like working on yourself and stuff. Working through your stuff. We're just talking. We're chatting today. I'm just base coating some fur. I'm going to highlight it so that we can keep on the fur thing. Hello, green users. We are just talking about introversion and extroversion and the con and some other stuff. And he's got, down under here, and he's not a weeby model, thank God. But down here we can just go with some walnut to block in a lot of this dark. So let's mix this up. Oh, that's a nice lady. Good job. Soda's hard to beat. I beat it a long time ago. Because my Mountain Dew habit was, like, seriously not good for me. I switched to diet soda first, and then I Then once I realized how chemical that crap is, I cut it out entirely and switched just to water. And now I'm on sparkling water, the flavored water with no calories, no sweeteners, and I really like that. I've gotten to the point where I can drink it quite happily without any sweetener in it. So that's a happy for me. All right, I'm going to get this walnut, and I'm just going to mix 1 drop of water into it so it's a little bit more fluid. Interesting. Yeah, so you're probably more toward the middle, Aerowiz. Also, there is like introvert and extrovert as regards to how many people you're dealing with, right? That's why I'm like, I bet there's different parameters. Because some introverts can, if they're just like working with like one person at a time or a couple people at a time, are fine. Especially if they, as you say, have a lot of time then afterwards to run off and do their own thing. Whereas large groups are a lot more social pressure and draining. So, and that's probably true with me, where the bigger the group, the more it drains in person. Could be why classes drain me a lot. I was much happier with smaller classes, but now everybody wants you to teach 10-person classes, and I hate that. I'll be honest with you guys. I know it gets more seats, but I hate it. I'm much happier with a 4 to 6 person class where I can actually talk and interact personally with each student for quite a bit of time. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I avoid this stuff too. Yeah, that's nice, lady. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what I do too. I have a tea in the morning. I'm thinking about getting some decaf espresso beans so that I can use David's espresso maker during the day and make myself a soy latte. All right, so we got that huge shadow there. We're just going to block it in. And the mouse is repelling paint just a little, but I just go back with the thick paint and I should be able to get it to work. You're an extrovert, but think you're introverted. Interesting, yeah. Yeah, you can be quiet and still be an extrovert. It's all like, that's interesting. You have a very interesting profile. But you're energized by people? Like you really enjoy like interacting with people once you're there, once you know them? Agent Marvel? I think that makes sense. I mean, there's so much going on in each of our heads when it comes down to it. It's what makes us so different. So, whether you're an introvert or extrovert and how much of each you are probably is also impacted by your experiences in life and, how you, whether you were ever kind of punished for, being an extrovert or approaching people or whether you were encouraged and stuff like that. So there's a little bit of nurture in the nature, I think. It's all interesting. Thormel, you're funny. I'm okay with extroverts. I'm just not one of them. Sweet. Yeah, this Mousling is definitely repelling paint, which is interesting because I did wash him. So I'm having to go over this a couple of times, and I just had to thicken up my paint a little bit more. So if you run into that, I mean, we could try putting a little bit of brush on primer on him, but I'm going to just keep going and see what I can do. I find that if I thicken my paint, it becomes a non-issue. But it is part of I do find, I never get this on like Bones USA, so that's why I'm all for Reaper switching entirely to Bones USA. Let's get those giant Siocast machines in the works. inside of the coat. I'm just going to block in too. There's a lot of shadow down here. A lot of shadow. We can see that rear boot a little bit. But now I'm just trying to kind of block in some shadow. It's because I've got this walnut out. I've got it the right consistency. So I'm just like, all right, let's figure this out. And I do want this coat to be a dark blue, so maybe we'll do that next. Once I get all the, I need to get his little hands, his jacket, so we'll just need his hands. But yeah, also figuring out what gives you energy pennies back is a really, really good tactic, because then you can actually consciously make time to do it. So little fingers. Mouslings only have 3 fingers, so. Which is weird, but it's the way it is. Oh, and this, of course, this hand has a glove because of the sword. So I don't need to paint that in the mouse fur color. Just going to put an extra coat on. When you get that kind of like paint doesn't really want to stick real well, it can pay to do an extra coat once you've got that first coat down, just to make sure that you are nice and solid. All right, and I did get the back of his ears, but I feel like the sides of his ears I didn't really get. So we should actually do the fleshy part of his little ears and see how that's going to go out, roll out with this skin, with this fur color. So yesterday I engaged another promotion for my book for the Kindle deal that I'm doing. And I did decide, and I actually have to update my newsletter list on this, but I did decide to put my ebook at only 99 cents for a couple days. So I'm doing a Kindle countdown deal in May. And the first couple of days will be at 99 cents. And then the next few days will be at $2.99. So we'll kind of see, because I decided if I was going to do the email list discounting stuff, mostly right now I just want people to discover me. So, and when you do a countdown deal, you still get your 70% royalty. That's one of the benefits of doing Kindle Unlimited. So I still get some money on it, and mostly right now I just want people to figure out that I'm out there. So that is what I'm going to do, and then I got a second. I did Readsy or Booksy. Readsy? Books. I think it's Booksy. I don't remember. But I did a couple of different email things, so we'll see how it works. David is like, well, you know, the conversion rate on that is like 1% will actually open the email, and 1% will actually, or 1% will click on your book, and 1% will actually buy your book. And I'm like, well, we'll see, won't we? It's no hurry and no pressure, Kodiak. Read it when you need a pure escape, okay? Because my book is very, very pure escape. It's a pure, fun, although it has, it has danger, but it's a fun adventure escape. So read it when you need to get away from real life. That's really, every once in a while I need a book that's just going to take me away into a different world with characters I love and show me awesome stuff. And that's what I wrote. So, hey, summer's coming up, and that's like prime reading time. But yes, I know you'll get to it. Don't worry. Right. Yeah, it's just seasons. It's just the season. There's a ton of birthdays in the spring. I don't know what it is with March and April, but... Alrighty, let's get some highlights on that little furry leg and the little furry paw, and then we'll do some ears. Yeah, I'm plugging through. I'm about halfway through book 2 now, as far as doing the revision rewrite on the rough. And boy, some of these are real rough. I it's like soulless chapters are actually in pretty good order. I feel like Sadis is gonna need some work, but Ash is like, oh my god, it's still so raw. Like, because I did an earlier rewrite on the girls, but I didn't do an earlier rewrite on Ash, and so now I'm gonna be like, this is like super. Some of this stuff I haven't looked at in 5 years, so I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a much better writer now than I was then. Oh lordy. Oh, nice. You're getting to the good stuff, Quindy. Getting to the good stuff. Fun stuff. It just gets more fun as it goes. I'm having so much fun. So yeah, even though I know it's going to be rough trying to hack my way through Ash's later chapters in this book, I'm going to be like, but there's still some of the favorite stuff that I am writing, so. It'll be good. And I'm getting really confident. So the other thing I think I'm going to do, in line with getting these email promotions, is I think I am going to put book 2 up for pre-order. And that will essentially let anybody who reads the book from the promotion pre-order book 2 right away. So that would be good for me. And I'm getting more and more confident as I'm just like really working really steadily through the book right now, getting more and more confident that I can have it out like on September 2nd. Like that's kind of the date that I kind of set in my brain. And once I set a pre-order, I have no choice. I have to go through with it or Amazon will like ban me. Like it will ban you from putting anything up for a year. It's just bad. It's just bad. You never want to fail a pre-order with Amazon. So it's a hard deadline if I put it up. Which is why I didn't do so before, because I knew with book 1 I kept having to push it off. But there's really no reason I should have to push this one off. Like, editing is the only thing, but I'm pretty confident in the book. And I should be able to get it to my editor fast. Hopefully, like I'm thinking mid-May, and that should be more than enough time. And then my proofreader, but I'll give her lots of leeway too. So overall, I'm like, as long as I can get this rewrite done by like early May, and I'll be able to kind of tell that once I get to the end of this month because I'm putting so much time into the book. So we'll see. But yeah, that would be great if I could get it done a little early. I'm going to line around the fingers a little bit here on the gun. Hey, Roger. But yes, that's kind of the tactic now. This is all fun because it's all still, just nobody knows who I am, so I get to play around and see what works and what doesn't. I'm very interested to see if I actually do get any click-through from the email list promotions. I can only apply for smaller ones right now. That's why we want to get those 10 reviews. Once I get 10 reviews on the book, I can start looking at BookBub. But I probably still wouldn't even do that one because BookBub is the big one. It's got millions of people who subscribe to it, but it also is the super expensive one. So you have to have at least 10 reviews before they'll even look at you, but it's also a lot pricier, so we'll see. I'll probably wait until book 2 is out. It's just fun. It's like fun to play with it, fun to see. David pointed out that since I booked 2 different email list promos at the same time, I won't be able to tell if one does better than the other, but yeah, I don't care. I can only do the one countdown deal every 3 months. So, and I didn't want to wait another 3 months. Alrighty. So just going in and lining a bit. We'll do a little bit of a, you know, it just occurred to me to wonder if he does actually have gloves on here. But I don't think he does. I think that's just a jacket cuff. Like, it's hard. You could paint it either way, right? But this glove definitely is all integral. So I want to say you could paint this like another glove, but it's really a different design. So I'm going to say it's not. But yeah. So yeah. Book progress. I like redefined my goals. I always love doing goals. It gives me a lot. Goals give me a huge amount of energy pennies. As long as they're not, I've learned I have to make them small and immediate though. I can't do big goals. Like I love to plan my entire year, but I know that it's going to go to crap. Even as I plan it, that I'm going to have to adapt. Have you guys ever done that? You've been like, I'm going to organize my whole, I'm going to set goals for my whole year. And then, 3 months in, everything has gone to total crap. Maybe people don't like to set goals like I do. I am a goal setter. Maybe as I get more used to publishing, maybe my goals won't go to crap as much. Every year, Cody, yeah, oh yeah, I'm there with you. Fist bump, boop. Because I love setting them. There's something in me that just adores setting goals, and it gets so much energy from them, and then it gets kind of sad later in the year. So I'm just highlighting his little knee here. And again, when you're wet blending, when you're using like a little bit of wet blending or layering, but you're not perfect, when you've got this rough fur texture, it hides your imperfections. So you don't have to stress too much. If it's not perfect, it actually will still look pretty good. I just brought my base coat up a little bit more into that, but I think that's a little strong. So a little bit more highlight. Nice, Thermal. I wish. Well, today's I don't know. Today's not work stuff. It's catching up with other stuff that's on my to-do list. Like, at some point today, I have to fix Kiki's toys her bed that she put a hole in. I'm going to do some sewing on that. So, little stuff that I've been wanting to do for the last several weeks that just keeps being shoved off. Every once in a while, I have to make a day just to do those things, or they'll never get done because they aren't as important as other stuff. And heading to the grocery store and stuff like that. So a little bit more blending here on the side. I think he's looking pretty good. So we need pink for the nose and pink for the ears. And we're going to use a fleshy pink just like we did with other Mousling. If you recall, other Mousling had a fleshy pink. So we were using Rosy Skin, or Rosy Shadow, I think, for him. I think I'm going to go with Rosy Shadow. I'll find it. It's over here. There. And that's a good, nice, fleshy-ish, darkish pink. I'll probably drop just a little bit. Maybe I'll drop a little of the nut brown in there and see what color that makes. Every once in a while, it pays to experiment. And the nut brown has a little bit of purpley tone to it, so I'm interested to see what it will do to the Rosy Shadow. And I'd like the Rosy Shadow is medium light. I would like it to start a little darker because there is a lot of shadow from the hat there. So my intention is to do a darker shadow at the top, but then down at the bottom of the ears where they're kind of catching the light, you can see it there. I'll do a little bit lighter, just a little bit. So I'm going to do a 4 Rosy Shadow to 1 nut brown and see what that looks like. Boop. I'll put 1 drop of water in it. that's an okay color. It's kind of a taupe. It's a good shadow color. So we'll rock that. Oh, a little bit of yawns. I actually think I slept like the dead last night. I don't usually sleep so soundly. All right, so let's get this taupe color into the ears. That's a good fleshy mouse skin color. Let's see if it's gonna stick. It looks like it's gonna stick though. Oh, I spoke too soon. Wants to beat up on the inside. I think it's the Bones Black. Honestly, Bones Black is my least favorite Bones material. I even like traditional Bones more. There, that's okay. And I'm going to just kind of block this in, like really just a sharp line here, because I can take my fur color and do little lines over the edge to blend it in. So don't think just because the sculpt stops, if you want your fur to kind of look like it's blending in, you can always take that color and go over the edge, and we'll do that. Anybody else have fun stuff planned this weekend? Pink nose. Yeah, I don't know what it is with it either, but it's just not my favorite. Sorry, Reaper. I just think it's been outstripped in general by the Bones USA stuff, so hopefully they can figure out how to do some larger pieces in Siocast. Oh, D&D, nice! Yay, in-person games! Oh, nice, Inara, yeah, good. Garden beds, oh, that's exciting. That's exciting, lady. Oh, I love going to the nursery. I have to keep myself from doing it because I have so little planting room. Although I've been thinking about getting a couple more big pots and putting plants in those. If I had infinite money, I would like restart my bonsai collection because I can have Japanese maples out here, but they're expensive. Yeah, the printed figures. And printed figures, technically, we could do bigger. Oh yeah, excited. Like, new stove is exciting if you're a cook, and I am. Yep. Yay, butterfly bushes. That's really cool. Yeah, I really want a bird feeder too. But we've got squirrels around here. I'd have to get one, figure out how to hang one that the squirrels can't eat from. Yeah, happy pre-birthday. It's the 18th, right? Or is it the 15th? Because it's the 18th this year, but traditionally it's the 15th. I am going to get a little bit more shadow color underneath the nose here. Whichever one it is, happy birthday. Happy pre-birthday. A little bit of shadow on the underside of the nose. Hot sauce in your birdseed? Interesting. What particular hot sauce? Like a real, like Tabasco? What do you use, Lady Kachara? Because I need to know this. This is definitely something I would do. Mixes from garden places. Interesting. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna try that because I would love to put a bird feeder right at my my lemon tree, like where I can see right out onto our patio. And it's got big enough branches that I could do it. Oh, I would totally love that. Okay, I need to go to my garden store. I need to look up I probably need to Google hot sauce for birdseed. Spicy birdseed, but I don't have my phone right now, so it's gonna prevent me. Give me spicy birdseed. I'm sure I can find somebody with an affiliate link online. Cinnamon and cayenne. Oh, that's a really good. I need to write this down. Okay, hold on. Must get a sticky note. Yeah, because I actually. Okay, so yesterday, guys, I told David when he got home, I'm like, yeah, Kiki got to chase a squirrel today, and he was like, she always chases squirrels. He's thinking when she's out in the backyard and they're running along a fence, and I'm like, no, you don't understand. There was a squirrel trying to dig in my strawberry container. And I was like, get out of there, squirrel. And I had the screen open. I was like right there, like maybe 6 feet, 7 feet from the squirrel. The squirrel's like, you're not going to come out here. I'm like, oh yeah? And I open the door. Kiki, get her. So that squirrel hightailed it. And Kiki was like, yeah. She thought I was like, good girl. So yeah, so. That was Kiki's great joy. So let's see. Cinnamon and cayenne on potted plants. Potted plant squirrel repellent. Yeah, because I have potted strawberries and I also have a potted raspberry. The raspberry, I don't know if they'll get to. It's really close to the house and to the door. And it's also really bushed out, so it'd be hard for them. Like, there's no open space, but my strawberries, of course, are in a root ball, so the edges of the long planter are still bare, and that's where the squirrels like to dig. Potted plants, squirrel repellent. Thanks for the tips, guys. Birdseed hot sauce. I'll just write that down. Yeah, right. I just buy the cheap I have a big bulk of cinnamon. Sauce in a spray bottle in sprayed areas. Yeah, Kiki snack, right? Yeah, good. I mean, I'm sure if everybody starts doing it, that the squirrels will get desperate and just start eating it, even though they hate it. But there's so many like people around here. Like, I'm sure that the squirrels can find other places to be annoying. Alrighty, let's warm this up a little bit. Use my rosy shadow and warm up the top of the nose and warm up the bottom of the ears. Yeah, no, I understood. I understood. Super. I'm super happy. Yeah, because I would love to have a bird feeder out there. Gonna get this, and I might add a little bit. Well, I think I'll wait and I'll add a little bit of rosy skin at the end, but we'll just try the regular old rosy shadow. But yeah, thanks for the tips, guys. Because I love the birds. We have some cute little birds around us. And some really pretty ones, like the big brush jay that was on the fence last year. I haven't seen them this year, but it's not summer yet. I'm not going to be mean to them. They have the run of the rest of the yard, Richard, and they can dig in the back shrubbery all they want. They just can't dig in my strawberry container, and they can't eat the bird seed and spread it all around. I do not consider that being mean to squirrels. I consider that setting boundaries. Plus, if I do restart my bonsai habit, that's not cheap, and I don't want squirrels uprooting, digging in those containers. The trees are too vulnerable. Otherwise, I enjoy seeing our squirrels. We have a little black squirrel and a little gray squirrel, and the gray squirrel was the one being bad yesterday, so I was like, arr. But that squirrel was not taking me seriously. And it needed to. All right, so just a little bit of lighter color on the bottom there. And we'll blend it into the top while it's wet. Oh, geez, yeah. Hey there, Pendrake. It's okay. We talked about introverts and extroverts and energy pennies and now we're talking about squirrels and boundaries and hot sauce. But yes. I sicked Kiki on a squirrel yesterday, Pendrake. Because the squirrel did not listen when I told it to get out of the strawberries when I was like right there. So I decided to double down and release the Keeks. Kiki had fun. And the squirrel escaped. Yeah, take one bite and leave the rest in it. Yeah, that happens with citrus. Like, the squirrels and rats love the citrus. And so when the orange trees and the mandarins and stuff are all in fruit, actually, they steal our figs, which I don't care about because I don't like figs, but we have a fig tree in the front, and they'll just grab a big juicy fig, take 1-2 bites out of it, and leave the rest, like, strewn across the driveway. It's like, seriously? There we go. So just a little bit of light there at the bottom of the ear, and I think I want a little bit more. So I'm going to grab the rosy skin and do that. And if I put out food for the squirrel, then that's great. But when I put out food for the birds, I don't want the squirrel in it. Because the squirrels will just jump onto the feeder, throw everything out, and wreck it. Like, squirrels have no regard for that. So, yes, it's fine, Mr. Squirrel, if I leave you some stuff. But I'm not going to let the squirrel just run, make the yard a sad thing for everybody. Yeah, exactly. Just like that, Twisted Oma. Exactly what I just said. I have experience with this. So I will be mean to my squirrels, absolutely. I think they're cute and all. I like watching the little black squirrel especially. She's my favorite. But I'm not going to, like, let them do whatever they want with my stuff. They can find somebody else's bird feeder to ransack. All right, so here's the triad that I've created by mixing the nut brown into the rosy shadow, and then rosy shadow is actually our mid-tone, and rosy skin is our highlight. So this is a different way to use the rosy skin triad. Yeah, so, yep. And these are fat little squirrels. Like, they're not starving, so they need to just live. Take this. Just don't touch my stuff, squirrels. Don't touch my stuff. A little bit of a highlight on top of the nose there. And then a little bit at the very bottom of the ears. Then we'll do some fur texture. Then again, we still have our midtone, so we can do a little bit of wet blending here if we want to. You can see that highlight. Nice. Yeah, we have a lot of songbirds around here and really beautiful birds in general. So I would like to help them out. But you're right, bigger birds could be a problem. So we'll see. Mostly I just get fat bird. The kind of bird I call fat bird. Fat bird is like a dusty brown and very fat and fluffy. And it's not a tiny bird, it's a medium-sized bird. Smaller than a robin, but bigger than a finch. And they're just so fluffy with their dusty brown feathers. I just call them fat birds. They come around. I used to leave little bits of crackers on the patio for my resident fat bird. Because he or she would come along looking, always trolling, trying to figure out if there's something here. So a little bit of fur texture. Just taking some of my darker color and bringing little bits of fur into the ear. You don't need a lot. But it helps to create the illusion. And then with these big chunky pieces of fur, you can just suggest that they're actually like thinning out as they come into the ear, like so. So it lets you kind of create the illusion that these, instead of when they're really chunky, you can create the illusion that they're not. Like so. Oh, that would be awesome, Thoramel. That sounds fantastic. That sounds like social media gold these days. So same thing. It's hard to keep this guy in focus here. There, got the little fur strands there. Let's see if we can see. So on Monday, I won't be on Saturday because we'll be at our seminar, but on Monday I should have all sorts of interesting things to say from the seminar. If I learn any great, immense, gold painting secrets, or if I have any insights. In Sergio's class, I definitely had insights. I did learn his style, which was really what I went to do. But mostly I got like insight into why his style worked for him. All right, so little bits of fur and we're good. Maybe that's a little bit too much, like those look a little too regular, so more like teeth. So I'm going to take my skin color and interrupt them. Yep, and you could do that. I don't want to overthink it. I'm just, I'm not going to block big birds. I'll just try to keep it full. But I don't want squirrels getting in the birdseed because they just make a mess. That's my problem with squirrels, is that there's immense amounts of mess involved. There, better. So you can still see a little bit of that highlight on the ear. Not so much the other ear because the you can see a little bit of it. But the sword is blocking some of the light too. So that's all right. We've got ears that are highlighted and are the appropriate color and that show pretty well on this side. So that's good. And the nose definitely stands out. So that's good. You wouldn't want to go with a really bright pink on the nose with this kind of muted fur color. If you were doing a brighter Mousling with a lot of very saturated colors, you could go for a brighter pink nose. Yeah, exactly, Inara. Exactly. And that, that parts of that would definitely Sergio from Sergio's class. I definitely had a couple of, I would not paint this way, but sometimes that's worth it. Like, at least you get to like experience the method. I need to block in his mouth a little bit and maybe we'll add his teeth. He has two big teeth. We'll let that dry. He's getting there. We're getting there. Let's see here. Where is my... There it is. We're going to use creamy ivory. We're going to add a little bit of a darker brown to make it dark, and then we'll highlight it with this. Nice. I don't know. Wisconsin squirrels were terrible, Pendrake. Most of my experiences with squirrels have been Wisconsin squirrels. But if she's just got a huge tray of seed, that makes sense, right? The squirrel doesn't have to like dump out the feeder. It can just jump in the middle and eat all the stuff. I'm going to use a little bit of NMM Gold Shadow to shade this creamy ivory for the teeth. Where is my pokey tool? I just don't have room for a big tray of food in the middle. Plus, it would be kind of an eyesore and kind of probably would still make a mess. I have to keep my experiments in the yard to something that David won't look at me and go, you know, that's really just a mess. There. Okay, now I've unclogged. So you can use anything like NMM Gold Shadow, Shield Brown, Rich Leather technically will work. So there's my little bit of those and that. I'm going to just put a little bit of water in here. Get a little bit of this in here, darken it down, hopefully a little bit more. So I want to be cautious. I don't want to darken it too much, so I didn't just add a whole drop to this. Sometimes I'll do this where I'll leave the dark on the side of the palette and the lighter in the middle, and then I'll just paint with both. If your paint is not super thin, this actually will work. Yeah, that's what I heard too. That's why I'm excited about the Tabasco or hot sauce thing. We'll see. That's why I haven't gotten a feeder up to now. It's just that. Okay, let's do this. That I really just don't want to feed a bunch of squirrels. I want the birds to actually get some. And grab a little bit more of the dark. Need to clean out my fountain too. I left it during the winter and it got water in it during our rains and then got a little bit of algae. So I need to scrub it. Need to grab a green scrubby and scrub it out. So we've got our teeth kind of blocked in with that darker cream. That's great, lady. I'll try it for sure. I would love to get a hummingbird feeder, but I know it also attracts bees, and that's where I'm like, I'm not really in favor. A little bit of highlight at the bottom of the teeth where the light's going to catch it. I think I want a little bit of fleshy color on his bottom lip too, so I'm going to grab that while I've got it mixed up. But yeah, we have some really nice birds out here. I always liked birds. So I was like, we didn't have a good tree for a feeder in where I was in Texas, so I never got one, but it would be nice to have one finally. We had one when I was a kid. I always liked watching the birds. So just trying to get the darker skin color to come in here. There it is. That's good. Kiki wants to eat the bees, and so I'm gonna avoid attracting bees if I can. We already have a bunch just because we have lemon and lime tree, and the flowers. They love the flowers. Although the lime tree is dying slowly, so we'll have to figure out if we're going to replace it with something. Quindia. There we go. So we've got our little lower lip done. I'm going to get a little bit of a highlight in the middle again. Yeah, my fountain is moving water, so. We also really don't have mosquitoes out here. It's such a dry climate, and because of the drought, a lot of people don't have water features. So, and if they do, they're moving ones. So like I don't get bitten by mosquitoes out here. Like, it's nice because Texas, of course, was breeding ground for West Nile and mosquitoes. I remember them having to like fly over and just drop killer some nights where you couldn't let the dogs out. But yeah, here I can have my fountain. I just need to scrub it. Yeah, I really loved it because, of course, Wisconsin was terribly buggy when I was growing up. And then Texas would have a space of time where it wasn't buggy, but then it would get buggy later in the summer. But California, where we are, no, really not. Which is great. Yay, we have a face. We have a face. Here, let me get some nice ruddy leather. Ruddy leather is my favorite color to simulate the amber eyes on most animals, like the dark brown like Kiki's got. And his eyes are going to be way underneath the hat, so you really won't see any color, but I want to paint them anyway. It's a bright kind of brown. But yeah, it's really nice out here. I do not regret the climate I moved to. I miss the heat. It's the one thing. But we do get a couple of really hot days. There we go. So you can see that brown. It's really warm and rich and reddish. Like, it's a great animal eye color. So if you're looking for that brown eyes for animals color, Ruddy Leather 9109, that's your choice in my opinion. He's mad. He's mad. Witch/vampire/werewolf hunter. He's really looking good though. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy his ears look like they're actually coming up. Yeah, it is the best animal eye color in my opinion. And then if I'm going to highlight it, I usually will bring it up with some orange brown. Nice. Yeah, there's a couple different ways to do hair and fur, depending as far as fur goes. I'm going to put a bit of a pupil in, even though you won't really be able to see it. With the walnut. I feel like I can see it better on that side. And I'll do a touch light in the eyes. Yeah, if I was going to do an animal witch, probably a cat witch. Makes sense, right? Spider witch would be just too creepy, nightmare stuff. We don't go there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the catch light's going to work. I don't think so. The problem is you really can't do it. It's underneath that that brim of that hat, so I don't think it's going to work. I'm going to just make the pupils a little lighter. I'm going to block out that. I'll just have to bring up the light a little bit instead of doing a catch light. So, what have I got? 11. Yes, just about right. Where is my orange brown? Orange brown. Best color for highlighting reddish browns is an orangish brown, which should make sense to you. You could do a bat witch. Bats are cute. Or a frog witch. Toad witch. I don't know. Why hasn't Jim Ludwig done a animal witch for Halloween? That's what I want to know. I should ask him why he hasn't and put the idea in his head. So just going to get a little bit of warm color there around the eye and do it that way. Turgeon, you are so funny and I appreciate you so much. What Turgeon said? We got to get those 10 reviews, man. That's the goal. I have a whole bunch. It's on my list of official goals. He has a frog wizard. Yeah, so he needs a something witch. Alrighty. I'm going to just highlight the eyes like that and leave it because, like I said, under the hat brim, really aren't going to be able to see much. You get to see maybe a little bit of color there at the corner of the eye, so that's good. But in general, the hat just hides the eyes, so there's no point in putting a lot more work into them. But yeah, if you're doing leather, especially if you're doing ruddy leather and actually using it to paint leather, get your orange brown. And then after your initial mix of the orange brown for your first highlight, just add a color like creamy ivory into the mix of orange brown and ruddy leather. Just a little bit, and you'll be right about good. There. Alrighty. And that's a pretty good stopping point, actually, here. Ah! We got Mr. Witchhunter. He's like, rawr. He's doing well. He's doing well. I'm pleased with him. I'm pleased with him. Maybe I'll do a primer layer over the hat before we do it. So we're going to go dark blue. I think I'll go off-white with the shirt because it'll help give us contrast between the dark fur and the dark belt, which probably will be dark. I could go lighter leather here or medium leather. I can consider that next to this, or I could go black leather and do the hat and the belt in black with a bluish highlight, and that would work with the coat. We might do that. We might, and then maybe a red band for the hat. Just for fun. Could put a little red on there. Could put the red on the hilts down here too, and maybe that's probably the only places it's going to go. Might be enough. We'll see. Oh, and I need to do a pink tail. Crap, I totally forgot that his tail needs to be fleshy. I do this. I forget to paint the tail on Mouslings all the time. I'm just going to, so I don't have to remix up my shadow. I'm just going to paint the shadow real quick. Keeker's okay. She's been pretty heavy into chewing lately, so I've had to, she destroyed another toy, 2 toys yesterday. So now she's being put on a no squishy toy diet. Like, she loves them. She loves to, and I am going to fix her bed, so we'll see if she rips another hole in it after I sew it shut. But she just really can't be trusted with soft toys anymore. She was an angel with them for her first 6 months, and then just in her last like 8 to 9 month period, she started destroying them. Yeah, a lot of people do have Mouslings. That's why I'm painting this one. And also, I liked the idea of the fun size Mouslings, where it's just slightly bigger Mousling. Not as tiny. So we'll just get this dark base coat painted in on the tail. And then we'll be ready to just, it'll be easy to highlight with the rosy shadow and the rosy skin next time. There we go. That's pretty good. Alrighty. So, when we return, we will be finishing up Dude, doing our NMM Gold on Dude, Burgermeister. Because he's looking good, and the gold is really the last thing on him that I think needs to be done. So we will be finishing him up. He probably will stay just on his normal base. I'm debating. We'll see. But yeah, so we'll see. We're doing green work again on bases, so already, so I don't really feel the need to base him, but Ron likes to have them on something, I'm sure. So we'll see. But yeah, he's looking great. I really am happy with this model. I think he turned out fantastic, and the color scheme is what I wanted it to be. So yeah, he's really coming along nicely. Oh, the hat popped off. And then, of course, once he's done, we can start Jolie. Yeah, cobbles make sense for this guy. I have a bunch of minis that I haven't painted, haven't put on bigger bases, but Ron will just have to deal. Because I can't base everything. Because it's just like, it's time and like, I just know. I guess I could do a really easy, totally craptastically easy base. Maybe he'll do that. Maybe actually, I have an idea. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do my idea. All right. So yeah, we'll put him up here. And thank you guys for coming to the stream and babbling with me about all sorts of things. And I will interrogate Mark Masklins, and then I will come back and give you all of his secrets. Not really. Because words can only do so much. You have to take a class with a painter to really get the feel for them. No idea about Reaperland. Maybe see you all at 3 p.m. Central. Yep. Yeah, I'll be gone this weekend. Kiki will be sad because she's gonna have her parents disappearing for 4 hours at a time. So yes. All right, y'all. Have a great one, and yeah, I'll see you on Monday with Burgermeister. Okay. Have a great weekend and enjoy it.